What up, you lab rats? This is episode number 88, and today we're going to talk about how to audit yourself. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the lab, your daily inspiration for creating better content. All right, so for today, guys, I just got back from SSS Live with Amy Schmidawa, and it was pretty dope. If you want to check it out and my thoughts about it, you can find that in the vlog amongst some other videos as well. So let's get right into today's episode. I'm going to try to keep these episodes a lot more tighter. So when to audit yourself. When I back in the day when I was first starting in podcasting, I had a show called The Bells and Bounty Show. So that show went nowhere because it was very, very unfocused, and I got so hung up on the name and the branding and all this shit that I didn't need to worry about the look and feel of it when I didn't even have the content down. I didn't even have my purpose down. I didn't have my clarity down. I didn't have my why down. And I was worrying about all these kind of fancy things that didn't matter at the time. And I think a lot of people who jump into this thing worry about that as well. So it's really imperative that if you're serious about becoming a content creator and using video, say, or podcasting or some other kind of medium to market your work and your brand, you really have to have down your content, and then how you're delivering that content, which means like your voice, your own personality, the persona that you have online. That is going to be somebody not completely different from you. It's going to be a reflection of you, but it's going to be somebody who's just a little bit more turned on. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be this, version of you. You're going to be a little bit, existential version of you, so extroverted version of you. I think everybody has levels of introversion and extroversion in them. Online, you're going to want to milk that extroverted version of you. So that's what you guys see here on the show every day. That's my extroverted side. I always, at the end of shooting these things, I'm not a different person, but of course I'm more dialed down because through the camera, through the lens, through the mic, I have to bring a certain performance, a certain of delivery to reach you, to whoever those I can reach, right? So all of that is intentional. And if you don't have that down first, it's going to be very difficult. And perhaps, you can be like me and waste a lot of money on shit that doesn't even matter. So when to audit yourself. If you don't have that down, if you don't really feel like and you will feel it, okay? You'll feel it. You'll be in the vibe of your own little energy wave pattern when you get into the groove of making content that is consistent and true to you and true to your brand and what you really stand for. But you have to allow yourself to go through that transformation, okay? You don't just jump into it and then you're like, hello, I'm a born again content creator who's dope and awesome and sounds and acts like a pro and looks natural. No, that happens over time. But you have to allow yourself, you have to give yourself time to get better and tell the others that, to allow them and to forgive you to get better as well, right? Because we all know that having support is very, very important when you are going through this transformation. So asking for support is a big thing too. And I've made a couple of videos on that, talking about that as a sort of up in the air kind of cloud feeling about getting support. But I think we dial it in a couple of episodes that you can find in the description. Okay. So when to audit yourself. If you're putting out content, and the reason behind this episode today, if you're putting out content that is not exactly generating the traction that you want, it's probably because you yourself are not allowing yourself to express your best self. It's a lot of self. By that, I mean you have to kind of be a little bit more, you kind of have to take a sort of outsider's perspective of your content and what you are doing and say, is that really me? Does that really reflect who I am? And so Bells and Bounty show that went nowhere. I changed it up, and at that time it was appropriate. I changed it to Love and Entrepreneurship. So I rode that wave of like, okay, yes, I want to talk to entrepreneurs who are in relationships. So let's call the show Love and Entrepreneurship and go that route and interview those people. And then I rode that wave for as long as I did or could. And then I evolved past that format, past that show, past my own self, and started to do a lot of real self-reflection and see who I was now at that point. There was a lot of growth going on. And what came of that self-discovery was Get in the Lab. So that is the show that you see today. And every day it keeps evolving because it's a reflection of myself. And so, when to audit yourself? Every day. Every day I audit myself and the content that I put out. And sometimes I'll feel like I can't even keep up with the growth that's going on because I'll batch episodes like on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I'll feel like at the end of the week I've grown so much. So, the episodes are playing catch up to the growth that's actually going on. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that is what's going on. So if you see a lot of, not inconsistencies, but perhaps in the way that I'm explaining things or the way that I am presenting myself on the mic or on the camera, is because I'm also evolving too. And I'm just going to be straight up. Like that's how it is. That's real. And that's why the Get in the Lab podcast exists, because it's raw. It's you and me. This is it. I'm not editing myself, and I'm not putting a cap on the growth that can come from this interaction between you and me here on the podcast. So lots of things are coming. I'm very excited. I want you guys here on Motivation Monday to get activated. There's a lot of, ideas that are swimming around in my head right now, and there may be a lot of ideas that are swimming around in your head, but none of that will be for anything if you don't actually just take a step in one direction on one of those ideas. So now what does that actually mean? Now that actually means that I need to execute on those things. And that is a little bit scary. It is a little bit scary to be like, okay, I'm not going to just be doing the normal thing of creating the next episode or talking about it or, creating a blog post on it. I'm actually going to activate myself and change the very structure and the very way, the things that I'm doing and how I'm running my business and how I'm running my life. So I want you guys to take that same energy that I'm taking from SSS Live, and then I'm going to bottle it up right here in this little ball and then give it to you right here through this podcast on Motivation Monday so that you can take a step, an actual real step, and tell me what that step is in the comments below on how you're going to actually change the course of your life for the better, okay? Because it's these little momentous decisions that we make every single day. It's not like, 1 week I made this one decision, or, this one fateful day, my whole life changed. No, it's every single day that you decide in your mind to be like, okay, I want to run an event. What does it take to do that? Here are all the steps. Okay, that's a shit ton. Today, I'm just going to create an outline. Okay, so it doesn't have to be the most drastic step ever, but you have to put out a plan for yourself and make an actual step and move in that plan. And mostly, guys, I'm talking to myself. Okay, so if any of this tough love that I'm putting on myself is rubbing off on you, then good. All right, so that's today's episode. When to audit yourself. The biggest thing for me, bottom line, if you are bored, if you're not getting the traction, if, and you will be able to feel it, okay? You've got to get in touch with you. You've got to be intuitive about how you run things. You can't always rely on a course or a mentor or your mommy or your daddy to tell you what to do, which is something that I have a habit of doing. Not my mommy or my daddy, but I'm always kind of depending on the next course or the next mentor or the next coach. And you know what? Like, I need to learn how to trust myself, as do you. Trust yourself, trust your gut in your tuition on what to do next. Okay? But if you don't take a step in any direction, then that's not going to get you anywhere. Okay? So that's it today for Motivation Monday here on episode number 88. Good things, guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday Tips. All right? So good things. And as always, my name is Megan, reminding you to get in the lab. We'll see you. Hey, really quick, guys. Thanks for listening to the show. I really appreciate it. You being here, hanging out with me. I'm lucky to have you. Okay. But there's some really cool things in the works, and I want you to be a part of it. If you're interested in going to an event that I'm planning, if you are interested in attending one of the events that I'm planning in the very, very near future, I want you to go to getinthelab.me/join and get on my email newsletter list. So that way you're going to stay updated with everything that's going on here with the show. Okay, so good things. We'll see you. Peace out.